Talanta Mtaani.
I'd like to invite on stage the CEO, CSUDP, who also doubles up as the chairperson of Talanta Mtaani Consortium, Mr. George Wasonga. Karibu.
Martin Ocheng, Group MD, Sassini PLC, Orlando, Group MD, CEO, Standard Group, Joe, a good friend, who has supported and stayed the path with Talanta Mtaani all these seasons, CEO Talanta Mtaani Show, Maurice, who always likes to sit in the background, but he's a very important guy. Maurice, at one time, I'll want you to stand up, but just keep sitting for the time being. And indeed, all of us who are here, this is a very exciting day for me. And personally, and on behalf of Talanta Mtaani Consortium, which consists of Talanta Mtaani Show Limited, CIPLA International that Maurice represents, and also Uwezo Awareness Organization, through our good friend Wawesh, who's in Sweden and not able to be here with us today, and my organization, Civil Society Urban Development Platform. We really are elated to have and welcome the presence of Sassini and indeed the entire Sassini team. I know Martin will introduce them at the appropriate time, but please note that we recognize you. And indeed, a very young and able Marian, our COO. Marian, you know, sometimes we need to show beauty. Can you just stand up for a minute and let people see the beauty behind Talanta Mtaani, so that we appreciate that. Thank you, Marian. Now, Talanta Mtaani Consortium started as a very humble interest groups, if I can call it that. And our core interest was driven by the passion of the young people. So as Talanta Mtaani Consortium, we have stayed the faith to try and bring these young people, harness their talent, and give them hope away from the hopelessness that they see on a daily basis in their living conditions. The second thing is, we looked at what is it that can attract these young people to come on stage like we have here. And we said creative sector is normally the easier one because people who can sing, people can dance, people can offer all sorts of performances. But that's not the end in itself. It is by creating that attraction that they come to us. And on that platform, we expose them to other multitudes of opportunities. And the third thing that you have actually seen here is, as our MC was ably putting it, thank you so much for bringing these guys here. There's an inclusive Talanta Mtaani, which means we are not denying opportunity to those who are less abled. Whether you're blind, whether you're deaf, and whichever disability you may have, you are part and parcel of society. So to give them an equal chance, we created Talanta Mtaani Inclusive so that you can have performances such as what you have seen our great Baba guy do here. You know, mimicking Baba to the perfection. Because these guys need to be given that pedestal so that they can also show who they are. They can be able to demonstrate and display what talent they have. And opportunities can then open up. Now, ultimately, in terms of where we want to continuously go, is to look at how do we interface. Once we bring this youth onto the Talanta Mtaani platform, how do we interface them with the opportunities that exist? And we sat down and thought about a sector that is a leading sector in our economy today, agriculture. And we looked around and we say, who's the biggest in agriculture? And without a doubt, it is Sassini. Not that I'm praising Martin on the team, but certainly we know Sassini is the biggest and is the leading in that sector. And we asked ourselves, why can't we start giving our young people hope in agriculture? Why is it that people think agriculture is for the aged, is for my old man because he's the only guy who's retired, he can go and do his shamba business and so on and so forth. There's ways in which you can do smart agriculture. You can actually sit on the desk as we sit here and you're able to still, trade merchandise. And as a young person, you have the intellect, you have the exposure, you have the access to technology. And that's what sometimes you need to start up these processes. And we said, let's just take a walk to Sasini and ask. To cut the long story short, it's been a fairly long journey, close to 2 years. Discussing, first instance, we don't know what you guys are talking about because we're in export business. What the hell do we have to do with the young people? But then the story went, and now we're here today, and Sasini are holding our hands as we transition into Talanta Season 6. Can we give a hearty clap to Sasini, please? And I want us to appreciate all of us who are here today by just giving a loud, hearty clap before I sit down. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. George Wasonga, for that, detailed info about Talanta Mtaani and Talanta Mtaani Consortium. Kindly, let us appreciate him one more time. And I'm glad he mentioned the fact that this journey has been made possible by our partnership with Standard Media Group. And I would like to introduce to you the CEO, Standard Group Media, Mr. Orlando Liomu. Kindly join me on stage, make your way on stage, tafadhali. Asante sana, a hearty clap as he makes his way on stage. Welcome.
Right, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone present. Martin Ochieng, Group MD, Sasini PLC, George Wasonga, Chairman, Talanta Mtaani Consortium, Maurice Okoth, CEO, Talanta Mtaani, Joe Monene, Group MD, Broadcast, Standard Group PLC, of course, all the youth present, my colleagues from the Standard Group, you're welcome. The fact that Talanta Mtaani has found a home on KTN Home, which is one of the platforms or the TV stations within the Standard Group PLC product portfolio, over the past couple of years is a testament to what we've always said, that we want to be in a space where we impact society. You have to realize that any business operates within a certain environment. It doesn't matter what you do, you have your environment of operation. And you get value from this environment, even as we seek to chase profits, as we seek to give our stakeholders returns on their investment, as we seek to compete within the industry. All this happens within the context of an environment. And part of the environmental inputs are the people. If you talk to any of the MDs or any of the organizations, and I'm sure our friend, Mr. Martin Ochieng, if you asked him what the environment is for Sasini, and you come and ask either Joe or myself what the environment is like for the Standard Group, you'll find that the biggest component in that environment is people. And therefore, we have to ensure that if we are to do our businesses in a sustainable manner, then it is the people who will sustain us. I doubt there's any business that can create value by itself for itself without involving the people around it. And when you come to the topic of people, Talanta Mtaani for us represents a very critical segment of our audience, the youth. The youth, it's interesting. There's once upon a time, I think I was in the category of the youth. And they used to say, the youth are the future. Either the future never came or I'm still youth, I don't know. But having been young once upon a time, and today I'm in a position where I'm seeing other people as way younger than me, I realize that the rhetoric of the youth needs to be moved into an action-oriented space, where if we are saying the youth are the future, then what are we doing to empower the youth? What are we doing to give the youth hope? What are we doing to tell them that if you are a dancer, like we saw here, that can be your future. You see, there's a narrative that's always says that for you to be successful in life, you must do A, B, C. And most of the time, the A, B, C tends to be medicine, engineering, architecture, those heavy things that seem to glorify, not in a bad way, but the A students. And there's nothing wrong with being an A student. But in a society where we have different types of people, we should not forget that for every A student, there's a very capable C student. There's a very capable B student. And we need to find what they can excel at. So then when we say the future belongs to the youth, we are not defining what success is, but we are helping the youth become successful at what they have a passion for. My advice to the youth normally is, it doesn't matter what you choose to do. Just invest the hours and become the best at it. When you are the best at it, you will succeed. And when you are successful, all the things that come with it will come. That's why successful athletes make money off their effort. Successful musicians make money off their work. Successful actors do the same. Just as a successful doctor or engineer would make a life out of their skills. So when we come to the Talanta Mtaani, and I think the name is very apt, it's about talent. It's not about skills necessarily. It's about talent. What is it you can do well? Our hope is that even as we accompany the Talanta Mtaani Consortium, as we partner with Sasini who have come on board, we will make this a journey that can inspire many more youths, even if it's not through the Talanta Mtaani platform, but in whatever space they operate, to be inspired to become a better version of themselves. What I know for a fact is that any day, hard work will probably beat talent. Any day. So even as we look to bring out the talents that we've been seeing being performed here, my parting shot is, don't sit and say, I'm talented. Work hard, work hard, work hard. The better version of your talent you become, the higher the chances of success. Ours as a media organization is to provide the platform, to take the message out there. And by doing so, we hope to inspire many more youth to realize that they can actually make a living. Life, unfortunately, sometimes doesn't deal all of us the best cards. Some get very poor hands, some get what appears to be a winning hand from the beginning. But remember, regardless of what hand you've been dealt by life, you can actually turn it around and become a winner. And I believe that's the message that Talanta Mtaani seeks to deliver to the youth. It doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter what is your social economic status, you have a platform to make something for yourself. And if you look at the previous winners, season 1, 2, 3, 4, and today we've had season 5 winner being crowned, I hope we don't just award them, then we walk away and look to the next season. My conversation internally, and we were having this talk earlier, is how do we ensure that all the season winners become part and parcel of the narrative that will be Talanta Mtaani and the journey it has made some of the youth take from probably a point of no hope to a point of these people becoming the role models for their peers and for the younger people. Remember, you shall not always be young. The only difference between those seated in front of you and the young people I'm seeing at the back is time. Probably if you have an age difference of, say, 20 years between the oldest and the youngest in this room, or 25, the only difference between myself and any of you today is time. When you are my age, what shall you be doing with your life? That reminds you to use your time wisely. One day you'll wake up, you're no longer 20. One day you'll wake up, you are 40 pushing 50, then you realize, did I use my time wisely? So embrace Talanta Mtaani platform, go inspire other youth where you are coming from, let them use their time to create better versions of themselves. Thank you very much.
Talanta Mtaani.